What's up, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video game music as a musician myself. And today is the return of Sonic 3. There hasn't been many instances. This is going to be a pretty big video, 4 different songs. Sonic 3 Hydrocity, Act 1, Act 2, and then the same for Sonic Mania, Act 1 and Act 2. These are from the channel T. Is it T Lopes or T Lopez? And then the first ones are from the channel Sonic Kai. Now, before I get into this, I am working on a video for aquatic themed video game songs coming up soon. And I asked a bunch of people like their suggestions, and this one was actually requested by HuskyByTheGeek, the cool guitar YouTuber. And then my patrons voted after like a week, and this won by 1 point, but it won. So, and then finally, the last thing I want to say is, when I grew up with with Sega, I owned Sonic 1. I did not own Sonic 2 or 3. I played most of 2, didn't finish it, and I played like the very beginning of 3 and also didn't finish it. Those were like at friends' houses type of thing. But I will say, there is one song that I definitely do know by heart from 3, and that's the very first level. I forgot what it's called, but the reason I know it is because it's that iconic sound of the like the steel pan, right? Little whatever. Everything else from Sonic 3, I don't know. So it's interesting hearing stuff from a game that like I grew up with, yet don't know anything about. So this should be cool. Anyways, oh, and then finally, at what point did Sonic start doing different music for different acts? Because I don't remember that. I remember it was like Act 1 and Act 2, but the songs stayed the same. So, it's a lot of talking. Thank you, HuskyByTheGeek, and thank you to my patrons for voting, which, no, I'll stop talking. I'll talk more about Patreon stuff later. Okay. This song will be in that video for the aquatic theme stuff. Sonic 3 Hydrocity Zone Act 1. It's so weird how just like just the sound font brings me back even though I haven't heard it. Oh god, that sounds so much like Toe Jam and Earl. I'm gonna hear both acts and then talk. What's his name? What's his name? Last name starts with an M. Oh, wait a minute. Wasn't there like some debate on whether Michael Jackson was part of this or something? I remember that was a rumor back then. That was before the internet, so whatever came of that. Have a different composer for 3? I'm not seeing the name I normally know. What's the name I'm thinking of? The original guy. Masato Nakamura. Was he not part of 3? I don't see his name. I see a lot of names. Whatever. Yeah, I definitely never heard this. But it definitely has that like Sonic bass that I know, that like chunky kind of funk style bass. Oh wait, maybe I was thinking of Sonic and Knuckles. If you guys can correct me on which song starts with the steel pan song. It's the first stage, and like it goes to like it like burnt like the stage turns like on fire. That's what I was thinking of. Okay, we're going straight to Act 2 apparently. Okay, Act 2. Oh. It actually makes sense now that I think about it, having a second song for Act 2. Kind of a more intense. Ooh. This sounds cool. Now, mind you, I don't have footage, so I have to assume water is a big deal here. But I'm not really hearing water. And this one I kind of am, though. I would say this one sounds a little more aquatic than Act 1. Ooh. I feel like I gotta pull up BGMDB to find who's this one. I think I've only heard Sonic 3 once on the channel, which was Big Arm. And I love that video. But from what I know of Sonic water is that there's probably drowning in it. A little yeah, this definitely is even more of those vibes. Almost sounds like a water park or something. Ooh. It almost sounds like a totally different stage. I have a lot of questions. Be prepared. Talk before we listen to the Sonic Mania ones. And it just ends like that. That's like the main thing I'm taking away from it. Okay, so first of all, the thing I want to talk about patrons, just really quick. This was the first. I'm starting to utilize more polls and voting in the Patreon stuff, and that includes free members. So yes, you heard right. You pay nothing. You can just sign up, and I'm not trying to like plug, but like a lot of the votes came from free members as well. That's their only perk, but they can participate in voting and stuff. Not suggesting, but voting. So, this song, just by the way, it was like a week-long poll. This song had a lead from the very beginning, and it pretty much held it until the very end. So I was watching it the whole time, and I'm like, man, this is a big deal. And mind you, the reason I'm picking it, or the reason I'm hearing it now, is because it's going into that future episode of VGM Vibes 3 with all water stuff. You might see some other videos that I just did, like Dire Docks and Aquatic Ambiance. And it's actually cool hearing like the Nintendo and like the Sega counterpart of like water. So although I never heard this one, I knew going into it, well, I haven't seen what it looks like, but I knew water is somehow involved. And seeing as I've played these earlier Sonics, I can only imagine what that looks like, because I have one in mind right now that I'm not going to say, but you know, I kind of somewhat know, right? Like you start up here and then you go down and then you slow down and platforming becomes really slow and obnoxious. But let me know, of course. It could just have a bunch of water in the background. I'll know. I'll figure it out later. But I will say that the first act, I didn't really get like any sort of aquatic vibes. I know it might sound crazy, but I didn't, you know. It sounded to me more like just pure Sega goodness. It was just like a funky track, and it sounded very Toe Jam and Earl too. What is it? Return to Planet Funkotron. I didn't play the first one, but I played the second one, and the second one is littered with like this kind of funky hip hop, you know, thick bass style. But the second one, yeah, that one to me felt more. I was gonna say moist. I didn't. It doesn't count. But it's hard to think of words without sounding dumb when it comes to water and aquatic. It sounded very glistening. I don't know. You know, it was I'm just gonna stop. But you know what I mean? Like it had just kind of that sound of speed and slipperiness. So it's interesting that I kind of know something going into it without knowing. In this case, it's weird because I kind of played this game and I have history with this game, sort of, but also have not seen this stage. I haven't got to this point of this game. And I don't see it, but know what it's about based on the vote. You know what I mean? Like, this is a whole lot of... If this is someone's first video of mine that you're watching, I'm sorry. It's probably confusing. But, yeah, you know, it's It's strange. But I do like the fact that they had 2 different songs for the acts. As far as I know, that I remember, it was never like that. Like, it was act 1 and 2, same song, and then it just repeated. Yeah, I'm actually like positive that's how it was. So it must have started here, or maybe in 2? No, 2 had a 2. I don't know. And then the last thing is, I was looking at... This is where I'm really, like, confused. Is because I know Sonic as those first couple games as Nakamura. But apparently, his name's not even here. I see a bunch of people. I see, like... I'm looking at, like, 10 different people here. Including June from Crush 40. All these names I've never seen. So was he just not part of it? Because the music is pretty faithful. And then the whole Michael Jackson thing. Yeah, Sonic 3 is like this weird anomaly. Let me know. And also, I know there's Sonic and Knuckles. The black cover with the 2... I don't know, man. It's been a long time. Okay, cool song though. Now we're going to hear the counterpart of a game that I don't know anything about. I just know that this is a newer callback to old Sonic games, just from the looks of it. And I'm pretty sure I've done Sonic Mania here before on the channel. Yeah, no, I have. I don't remember what song, but I have. Not many. Not many. But yeah, I do know that this composer, T, this is their channel, they were a part of, or they have been a part of Sonic for a while now, I think. And other games. I could be wrong, but they also did maybe Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Anyways, let's listen to Hydrocity. Is it Hydrocity or Hydrocity? Here the names are split up. It says Hydrocity. Same thing, Act 1 and Act 2. Okay, let's go. Damn, that's faithful already. Such a crisp sound, too. Wow. I bet you... I'm just going to guess that Sonic Mania people that booted this up for the first time were sonically impressed, because I was just now. Yeah, it doesn't really... I mean... It sounds more like Carnival to me or something. I'm not kidding. Well, we'll talk about that. Don't let that distract you from the song. The song is sick. Oh man, it's so cool hearing Sega music later down the line. That's catchy. I can see that getting stuck in all of your guys' head. That's strong. The bass has been consistent throughout every version. Funky. It really does sound like... Let me see when Mania was released. I don't know. But it's got a lot of that character of the Genesis. ...2017 for the Switch? Oh, it's pretty recent. God, dude. Speaking of which, that was tight. Oh, no. We have to listen to Act 2 before we can talk. I'm going to talk. Let's go to Act 2. Yeah, same thing. Act 2 is more aquatic sounding to me. Ooh. They're both sick though, you know. One enhances 2, 2 enhances 1. I really like Act 2 in general. Woo. Sonic always had 5 fingers? I feel like it was common back then to just have every like cartoon character have like 3 fingers or 4. I'm just noticing Knuckles' shoes for the first time. I never noticed them. I've always looked at Sonic's. They look like kind of clown shoes with metal strings. I don't know. What do you call that? Man, T is good. You know what this sounds like to me? It sounds like someone who grew up with it. And not just someone who got hired. I don't know. But that's what it sounds like to me. Ta-da. Okay, we got a lot to talk about, you and I. So yeah, on the last subject I was talking about there, I don't know how old T is or anything, but to me that sounds like someone who is not just, you know, covering or remixing these songs. It sounds like someone who loves these games. It sounds really barely unchanged, you know, very faithful to the original and just adding a modern flair, you know. There's always going to be people that are like, original's better or whatever, who cares. But you can't really deny like that, the talent there, that's really passionate, you know. Second, I was looking at when this was released, this 2017 for the Switch, and then I thought to myself, damn, you know, I had this thought back in when was Brawl? When was Smash Brawl? That was late 2000s. I had a friend who had a Wii, and I remember she got Brawl, and like I used to just go over there and play it because you know, it's cool. That's what people did, go to people's houses and play Smash. And I remember seeing Sonic there, and I was so confused. Like, what? And Snake, too, by the way. I was like, what the hell happened? Like, at what point did Nintendo's arguably biggest rival join the cast? And now I'm seeing Sonic available on the Switch. You know what I mean? That's so crazy. It's so crazy. Anyways, just a side tangent. Well, this is an interesting video. Like I said, I'm learning a lot and also have a lot of questions arise. Composers, with Mania, the whole big jump. What is that? 2017 to like what, 19? I don't know. I don't even know when 3 came out. I'm just gonna guess like 94, 95, 96, something like that. Those were the days where like games would just come out like every year because they would just change little things here and there, like the stages really. And then, to be honest, I don't remember if 3 introduced anything new. Like I said, I didn't own it. Like, for example, I know 1 very well. 2, I know introduced the Spin Dash, and that was like a huge thing. And Tails. I forget about Tails all the time. But 3, I barely remember anything of it, if at all. And I don't know if they introduced any new mechanics, so let me know if they did. And also Sonic and Knuckles, which I believe, if I'm wrong, because I don't remember there was like a Sonic 4. I think Sonic and Knuckles might have been the last of that like 2D side-scroller type of thing. Please inform me. Also, another thing I just recently did was Sonic Frontiers, and that's a whole other thing because that music of that game is like totally different. And then you have the other generation of like your Crush 40s, your Dreamcast generation, PlayStation 2, all that stuff. It's just crazy seeing this little blue hedgehog that eats chili dogs that was voiced by Steve Urkel go into such a life of video game history. But something I was told in a recent video, Pokemon actually, is that Sonic and Pokemon share a lot of similarities as far as like the games are like questionable as they go on, but the songs are always Like the music is always hitting, and from what I've experienced and heard, yeah. Now the topic at hand, aquatic, right? So let me catch you up again, recap very quickly. All those are the VGM vibes. It's a new series I do. It's still early in its infancy, but basically those are songs where I'm not reacting. I know the songs, I've heard them before, and I'm like more talking about them in depth. I grew up with them, I heard them on the channel, I played the game, etc., etc. Also taking suggestions from people and then just hearing them like this. This song will go into that video. That's why I'm listening to it today. Now, so the whole time throughout my reaction, I'm just like, okay, there's a cloud above my head that's water themed, water something. Both of these obviously just have still images. I didn't have footage, but like I said, I can kind of guess just based on what I know from like those old Sonic games what it's probably like. You know, the water probably rises and comes down. It's probably purple or something, and that dreaded do 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 do. Yeah, that was a nightmare. Also, does that return here in these games too? That little like drowning sound. But yeah, you know. So when I say that the Act 1 doesn't necessarily sound aquatic to me, all I'm saying really to that is the whole point of those videos is not necessarily. This is something I haven't told anyone that people will eventually figure out as I make more videos. It doesn't necessarily mean like water stage, water level, water character. It just means the vibe of whatever it is in this case water. So there's songs that could sound like it but have nothing to do with water. So in this case, this to me is kind of bizarre because Act 1 and 2 are kind of split on those two, because the first one does not sound anything to me that suggests water at all. Actually, it sounds more like I know it's not what the casino zone sounds like, but it sounds like it could belong over there. It has more of a funk and lively, energetic thing, where the second one sounds like the polar opposite. It sounds like you're in it. You're inside. Everything's washy sounding, and you know what I mean? This is a strange video, right? Going back to a game that I barely know on a console that I grew up on. This is voted on. Husky requested it. It's just like, it's a lot. It's a lot, but it's cool. And then just hearing Frontiers right before this, so it's like whiplash of sounds. I'm blabbing, but hey, that's what you signed up for. So this song will be featured in VGM Vibes 3 whenever that comes out. Look out for that. And you can check out the other ones, which are forest themes and battle themes. And I'm just going to keep on going with different vibes. Cool. I like both of them, though, regardless of if it sounded like that or not in Act 1. I still like the whole song in general. And I like the split of Act 1 and Act 2 as different pieces of music. Okay. Thank you to all my patrons here. I cannot be here without them and their votes. Thank you to my platinum members. Thanks to HuskyByTheGeek for the request. Thanks to you for watching. My name is Jesse. Peace.